Stay Ukrainian, my friends. Stay
Sponsored by Ukrainian Credit Union. Believe it or not, it's me, Ron Cahoot, with
Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Well, if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan, which you should be, I mean, especially living in this city or this country, and you watch all the games, and you're like me, when the game is over, and the Jays, especially when the Jays win, you hang on to that. So you watch everything that's on. Immediately after the game, it goes directly to Sportsnet. And guess who we see on Sportsnet? Ivanka Osmak, a nice Ukrainian girl, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We hardly know each other, but I appreciate
you know what?
that.
I feel like I do because I've known your dad for so long through the
Yes.
church and through. So when you're on, between that and my wife and I were watching, and you come on, and we go, oh, that's Ivanka. It's like she was just over for dinner the other day, and.
That makes me feel really good. That's really nice when a viewer can say, you feel comfortable watching, because that's the goal. That's the game plan is I want to pretend or be like I'm in the couch or on your couch and watching the game with you as well.
Plus, what guy in his right mind would rather watch Ken Reed when you're sitting behind the desk? I mean,
gonna tell him
really.
that.
First of all, I guess you grew up in Oakville.
Yes.
You are Ukrainian heritage. Did you grow up very Ukrainian?
We went to church. I went to St. Demetrius Church in Etobicoke on Lakeshore. Yep. So that was a huge part of my childhood, and I took the dance classes, and we did take Ukrainian lessons, and I was involved in the church Soup group. My brother, sister, and I
Holy
were all
smokes.
involved with that. And definitely have all the traditional feasts, the January 7th, Christmas and Easter and everything. But unfortunately, I didn't keep everything up. So my Ukrainian language skills aren't very good.
That's all right. You were mentioning that your husband's embraced the Ukrainian.
Oh my gosh. Well, especially the food. The food, yes.
Okay, I guess the next logical question is, how did you get involved did you study journalism? Like, how did you, broadcasting or?
Yeah, it was a long, winding road. I don't necessarily recommend it for fellow students or aspiring broadcasters. I always get that question, how do I get into TV or radio? And I'm thinking, you probably don't want to go into civil engineering at Queen's to get there. There's probably better ways to, more direct ways. So I went to Queen's after high school. I studied civil engineering. I got my degree. I got my engineering ring. I practiced for a couple of years in Mississauga. And then I realized I was young enough where I still thought the world was my oyster and I could do anything, that I thought, oh, why don't I, try something new? I'm not completely happy, 100% happy in engineering. And so that's exactly what I did. And I went through different career options, what I would like to do. And broadcasting popped into my head. It was kind of like that light bulb went off and I thought, that would be fun. And at 24 years old, that's what you base things on, right? Whether or not it would be fun.
So this was only like 3 years ago.
Aren't you sweet? So I did a diploma course at Seneca and York University, and it was just the summer. So it wasn't a huge time commitment, which made me feel, better because I already had a degree and I was already a professional. So I did the course and I loved it. I fell in love. It was fantastic. And so I went into radio. I was in Aurelia for a few months, and then I went down to Arizona for a couple of years before coming back to Sportsnet. I was out of the studio this past summer. I covered the Rogers Cup in Montreal, the women's tennis. And it was so exciting, and I have the best seat in the house. I'm on the court sitting next to one of the players' coaches, and I'm talking to the players afterwards, only the winners, of course, and that was so thrilling. But it was nice coming back to the studio because I get the variety of every sport, and it's not just concentrating on one, which I really enjoy. And I also get to work with a cool dude named Ken Reed.
Yeah,
so we actually get along in real life. We're not just faking it. So there's something comforting about that. I enjoy it. It's not work because I enjoy it. And it's what I do in my spare time when I'm on vacation. I'm always checking up on my teams, on the sports I enjoy. So, a typical Saturday night for my husband and me is going to a game. And if we're not at a game, then we're watching the game, on our TV at home.
Do you have a sport that you just as soon, so what?
there's definitely a ranking of my favorite
What's your
sports,
favorite?
and tennis and baseball. Or tennis and Blue Jays is probably
Yeah, see, me
right
too.
there, you know? I could watch any baseball game, but if the Blue Jays are playing, I think it's because, those impressionable years of my life when I was 12, 13 years old, just gave away my age, when they were winning the World Series, and I was at some of those games or just watching at home. And so there was so much excitement. And when you're young in that age and they're always winning, you're thinking, this is going to happen forever. And then, of course, they stop. And so I think that's why I just have a special place in my heart for the Blue Jays, because those, developing years for me, they were on top of the world. But I love tennis. I play a lot of tennis as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my brother, sister, and I were all heavily involved in sports playing, and so we were really fortunate, really lucky that our parents, harvested that, and my dad was very generous whenever he got tickets to a game, or anytime we went on vacation. Usually, it always revolved, or there was some sporting aspect, integrated in, whether it was on a road trip and we would stop at a stadium or go to a game. There was always something involved. So now I have to say, so one of my grandmothers, actually my grandmother that's still living today, she's 101 years old.
Oh, God bless her.
Baba Elizabeth, and she's in Gilbert Plains, Manitoba.
There you go.
And shout out GP. And so we would go to the Ukrainian festival in Dauphin.
Yep.
And I heard there was a concert going on that when I forget how old I was, and it stuck in my head. And I was talking to my dad a couple weeks ago when we were talking about setting this interview up, and I started singing it, Barabulia.
Oh, the kids series.
Yeah.
Ba, ba, ba,
Oh yeah.
ba,
That's he said.
Yeah, there you
That
go.
was one of my favorite songs.
Oh my, God bless you. What's next? What's next in broadcasting? Staying where you are?
I'm having fun, living the dream. It's hard to believe that I get to watch, talk, and read about sports for a living, get paid for it, which is it's unbelievable to me. And so I feel extremely lucky, and just enjoying what's going on right now. So I'm going to enjoy it as long as
You're very,
possible.
very good at what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate
And,
that.
well, you keep it up.
Thank
And
you
I
very
wanna
much.
see- I know you love what you're doing, and I know you love the particular gig you have,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to see you on the field. I want to see you, talking to the players and giving Hazel a run for her money.
All right.
Asking good questions, and then I say, I know that lady, and she knows me, and she knows some of my music. I'm very honored at that. That's I got chills when you said that, and so I'm going to watch it with even more intent now. Thanks
Awesome.
for doing this for us.
Absolutely.
I usually end off my
Thanks for having me.
segment. It's called Stay Ukrainian, my friends. But you're staying.
Yes.
Thanks a bunch.
Proud to be.
And
Thank
all
you.
the best.
Stay Ukrainian, my friends. Stay
Sponsored by Ukrainian Credit Union. Believe it or not, it's me, Ron Cahoot, with
Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Stay Ukrainian, my friends. Still needs an accordion.